glad that I got here in time to hear those wonderful kids from Woodstock. And it just begins to tell you that if you give kids the opportunity and the encouragement, all of the extraordinary things that they can do. I'm delighted to be here, and I want to thank the Vermont School Age Care Network, Vermont's 21st Century Community Learning Centers, and the Vermont Center for After School Excellence for inviting me to speak with you this afternoon. The truth of the matter is I'm not quite sure what I'm going to say because you know everything that I'm going to say, and you know it better than I do. I just want to tell you that the issue of making sure that we have after-school programs available in every region of our state, and in fact in every state in the country, is something that I believe very, very strongly in. When I was mayor of Burlington, do we have anybody from Burlington here? All right. Well, a lot of guys are running, all right. When I was mayor of Burlington back in the 1980s, one of the things that I'm very proud that we accomplished was establishing for the first time a strong network of after-school programs throughout the city. And I'm glad to see they're still alive and well today, right? All right. But clearly much more has to be done. We know that after-school programs benefit not only the kids, but the entire family. Sometimes I think that some of my colleagues really don't know what's going on in the economy. They think that mom is home after school, ready to welcome back Johnny or Mary after school. Well, you know where mom is? Mom is out working, trying to make a living, so in the middle of a major recession, our families can pay their bills. And mom and dad need some help. And they need to know that when school is over, their kids are not hanging out on a street corner. They need to know that their kids are not getting into trouble. They need to know that their kids are involved in constructive activity. Whether that activity is athletics or whether it is mentoring, whether it's going over your homework with somebody who can help you, that's what parents need to know. And we, at our own expense as a society, say, okay, school's over at 2:30, it's over at 3, goodbye kids. And we're not concerned about what happens to you. Well, I think we've got to understand that what happens to kids after school is as important as what happens to them during school. And all of you, again, I feel awkward telling you what you know better than I do because you experience it every day. You are seeing what kids are doing after school. They're doing great things. And we know that all of the studies tell us that if kids are engaged in good activities, academic, athletic, recreational, after school, what do we know? They are less likely to get into trouble. Is that correct? Yes. We're not going to see teenage pregnancies. We're not going to see petty crime. We're going to see kids stay in school, come back feeling better the next day. We're going to see kids more likely finishing high school. We're going to see kids more likely going to college. All of the things that we want to see. Now here's the point. Everything that you know and everything that I've told you is known by everybody in the world. But the question is, why are we not as a nation doing better for our kids in general? So I'm going to detour a little bit from after school and talk about kids in general. Question, how many of you know which country in the industrialized world has the highest rate of childhood poverty? Anybody know? United States of America. 22% of our children are living in poverty. Highest rate of any major country on earth, which ties into the fact that we have the most unequal distribution of income and wealth of any major country on earth. How many of our kids are dropping out of high school? 30% of our kids are dropping out of high school. Thank God we do a lot better in the state of Vermont than most other states. In fact, we lead the nation, and we should be very proud of that. But we lose too many kids even in this state. Many kids can't afford to go to college because the cost of college is $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. So the issue is getting our priorities right. If you're a working parent today and you have a little baby, it is enormously difficult to find good early childhood programs, preschool for our kids. We've got to do something about that. We've got to make sure that we have enough good teachers and teachers' aides taking care of our kids so they do well. And we have got to make sure that every community in the state of Vermont and in this country have quality after-school programs. That's what we have to do. Now the issue is, that costs money. That's what it costs. And money is always the problem, isn't it? So what all of us have got to think about is, and I don't mean to be political here, but we have to raise issues. What we have to think about is, where as a nation do we spend our money? Is it more important that every parent in America knows that when school ends, his son or daughter is going to be in a good after-school program, which costs money, or is it more important that we give tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires? I think the answer is pretty obvious. I think when we have strong after-school programs, you know what else we do? We create jobs, good jobs. We have people who are taking care of our kids, who are mentoring our kids, who are taking our kids on trips. We're educating our kids, bringing our kids together to see the kind of cultural activities we just saw a few moments ago. So what this issue is about is having a goal. And what's the goal? The goal is what we call, fancy word, it's called extended education. Does everybody know what I mean by extended education? What extended education means is that school is more than just walking in kindergarten and leaving at the end of high school, and just doing it Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 2:30. What extended education means is that we focus on preschool. Extended education means that we have strong after-school programs. Extended education means that on Saturdays, when parents need it, we have good quality programs for kids as well. Better for kids to come together doing constructive activities rather than sitting home watching cartoons, in my view. Better that we have strong summer programs. How many of your schools have summer programs? That's great. We are bringing a lot of money into the state. Last year we got 3 schools in the state, in Bennington, Rutland, and in Burlington for after-school programs. We want to extend that to 10 schools, and I want the day to come when every school in the state of Vermont has good summer programs for their kids. It's good for the kids and it's good for the parents. Because when kids leave school in June, if the younger kids often forget a lot of what they learned by the time they go back to school in September. So we can give kids academics, we can give kids recreational programs. Bottom line is that as a nation, we have got to change our national priority. We don't need to spend $700 billion on the military and not have after-school or preschool programs. We don't need to give tax breaks to billionaires and not take care of our kids. So the goal, in my view, is a strong after-school program in every community in the state of Vermont, strong preschool programs as well. We can afford to do that. We are the greatest nation on earth. We have got to get our priorities right. And when we do that, we not only help our parents and help our kids. You know what we end up doing? We end up saving money. Because when our kids do good in school, when they're proud of their accomplishments, they're not going to get in trouble and end up in jail. So I'd rather put money into our kids than into our jails. I would rather make sure that when kids do well, they're going to go out and get good jobs, pay taxes, and improve our whole society. So let me just conclude by thanking you for what you do, because you are on the front lines. You are working every day with our kids, and I can't think of anything more important than that. So count me in as a strong supporter of what you're doing, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Thank you very much.